Hi. Okay, folks, it's Alan, and what you see is the cord running across. It's actually our exercise room, so excuse the ball. Up to I think it's called a transformer, right? And I put a box around it because it throws out a lot of heat. Um, you know, so it was either that or install a fan. So I thought I'd box it to make sure that nothing sat on top of it, so it wouldn't get air circulation. And I'm interested in this ashtray. That, by the way, I rescued this ashtray from the Jolly Miller Tavern in Toronto some years ago. Interesting stuff. It's on sale at eBay. Anyway, um, we are now coming to the interesting part of this experiment. Several minutes ago, I um, I turned on the power. So there's 12-volt transformer there, and I turned on the power um, to what I was using. And I thought I wired it correctly, even though I must say the soldering joints are disgusting. Um, but it failed on the boat. Um, the inside fans all froze up, and I wasn't really sure why. So I have, very strangely, just put my soldering gun container on top, and there's lots of air holes around, as you can see, and so air is free to travel around. But even in a situation like that, it seems to have dropped the temperature a fair bit. So I did put a sensor in there. So I really like to know what the temperature is in various rooms. So this is one sensor down here. Everybody see that? It says what, 16.6. So it has gone down from what, about 21. So in the time period, about 5 degrees Celsius. So that's not bad. And it is noticeably cooler here. I'm just looking at the other fans to make sure that they're both working, and they are. And the metal around is quite cold. This part here is quite cold. I'll just put the top back on and just sort of let it percolate for a bit, and maybe see why it failed the last time when it was on the boat. Okay, so we're now back several hours later. Um, there is a fair bit of heat. Well, actually not there, but if you put your finger through it, it's quite warm. You put your finger on it, but you would say, oh, that's warm. So, and the fan, at least the external large fan, are still working. So, and the air feels ever so slightly warm. It seems to be coming out. Now, we take off our cover. On the other side, there's our thermometer. And the thermometer is reading, what, 5.6? It starts going crazy. No, I'm not really sure. But at any rate, 15.6. So what was it before? It was, what, 21. So it has gone down 6 degrees, even though you can see they're far from perfect. So it's all the perforation. So what I'm going to do is find myself or build myself a box, and we'll just try it and see how much the system cools it. Yeah, so folks, we're back, and a few things are happening. Of course, we have got these connectors connected, and I promised I'd show you them. They're kind of like this. I guess you probably can't see inside, but you put the wires um, and clip them in. Now, for instance, if I just wanted to extend a wire, I just put the one in one hole and one in the other. But if I wanted to actually power or make a, what you might call a rat tail joint out of it, I could put the power one in there, and it would work just fine. And so what I've done, and I hope that nobody can find any real fault with my wiring. I mean, I've done the red and the black things quite religiously here, and it has worked. Seems to have worked quite well because uh, well, they're warm, but they're not hot. I'm getting a little bit of warm air, but pretty neutral out of the fans. Underneath, I'm going to show you momentarily, but it's quite cool underneath. It's really quite amazing. Now, here seems to be the problem. Let's see if I can unlock the old exposure. There we go. I'm going to lock it again. So, this seems to be the problem, and I guess we can't really blame it because I probably bought the wrong item. I suspect because this thing gets quite warm. I wouldn't say hot. Well, I can put my finger on it now since I've let air come on all sides, but otherwise it's got far too hot. So I assume I'm doing something wrong, know nothing about electricity, don't pretend to, just I have a lot of respect for it. So I'm going to start learning something. And hey, where's the best place to learn something free? Why, it's the internet. The only problem is you have to be careful about the information, right? So always know your sources. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go and figure out what I did wrong. All right, well, we're back, and here we are, and I'm just going to check on what temperature it is inside my little refrigerator. So I'm just going to pick up the unit, and boy, it feels quite cool in there. So can we see? What's it saying? 7 degrees? Not bad. 7 degrees, 46% humidity. So, I think my upstairs refrigerator says 7 degrees too. So, we've established that within an hour or so, this unit can cool a small area, perhaps a cubic foot, but that would be really just about it. Down for at least refrigeration purposes. Now, the other thing I may want to do, because I think there's quite a drain off the little transformer I have, and that is to maybe run part of the circuit off another source. So I'll check with that later. And I'll let you know. So hi folks, it's me again, Alan, and last video I made, I was about to give up on this because this thing was overheating. This transformer was overheating. It goes from 110 to 12 volts. And it was overheating because of this, if we follow the trail here, of wire. It goes into this marvelous little device here that I have. Let me just adjust the exposure here. There we go. So, marvelous little device that it sits on top of the, well, now it sits on top of a Coleman cooler. Do you have one of these? I see a lot of people on the streetcar. I think maybe they work in the trades or construction or something, and they have this size container for their lunch. It's not huge, but it's certainly big enough for a big man's lunch and maybe even a can of beer for after. But at any rate, I don't know why I'm pushing buttons. I don't know what I'm doing. I mounted it, and it is unbelievable. I think it's 4 degrees down there. So at any rate, I started out, of course, with this, I guess, template, you would call it. And I learned something important by watching other videos on YouTube, and that is you've got to be very careful. not to let any air through in the cooling plate. Don't let into the upper fan area, so you have to make sure this is a fairly good seal. So this is about the right size for the metallic plate. And so let me just take this off for a moment and turn it over. And what have we got? Well, I see some little icicles. So I'm just going to take out the template, reach into, and what does it say? It says 3.8 degrees Celsius. But look at that, 52% humidity. Not terribly good. Humidity's kind of too high. But anyway, we'll work on that. And I'm not sure whether my wife will part with this cooler, because I know it's her favorite cooler. I can easily buy another one, readily available, I think, all in this color, matter of fact. But I do have a rather expensive cooler that's a little bigger than this, and it's being stored under my deck. So I'm thinking it's usually at the boat, because it fits beautifully at the back, just at the stern, so I can have a nice cool one after I get docked, of course. So at any rate, this seems to be working absolutely beautifully. So this may be the end of the experiment, in which case, thank you very much. If you found this interesting or helpful, please subscribe.
All right, guys, that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe!
And ring the bell, give me a thumbs up, because I always pronounce this wrong. Is it algorithms? Algorithms, something like that. Unfortunately, they have those for YouTubers, and I don't get placed well if my rates are too low. So please, if you could, I'd certainly appreciate it. We don't charge for any of these videos, so it's nice if you can sort of reciprocate. Okay, thanks. Bye.